do that dedicated practice and heavy lifting in the middle. And that's what I'm trying to instill in people, that you need to put in that sort of time.
Right. So in terms of communicating effectively, especially in the international business context,
Yes,
the fact that you are into call center operations, you might be dealing with clients all over the world as well. So,
correct.
so what sort of cultural sensitivity do you need when you are talking to somebody in Europe versus somebody in New York City? Like you mentioned, one of the tips that how fast life is in New York, but
Sure.
if Europe, in Australia, I mean, if you're dealing with people over there, the clients that you're dealing with, what sort of cultural competency or sensitivity should a, a person who's into communications have?
Well, let's look at it in a mature way. And by the way, that's why you have the best podcast. You really are prepared and ask the best
Thank
questions.
thank
I
you.
need to I need to follow the Costa Rican labor laws.
Mhm.
That's the first thing we need to talk about besides company culture and personalities and supervisors. I'll get to that in a minute. The clients need to understand that there are certain holidays, certain rights that the workers have, certain payments that need to be done, taxes that may not be the same in their country. And I can't be flexible that way. I can't avoid following the rules. And I'm not going to do it for you. These are certain things that, and when you leave, I'm still here with my reputation. And so I've had to make very, very clear that do our labor laws fit with your work schedule? Because in the United States, there's certain holidays like Memorial Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day. That's a holiday in the States. Things are closed, but it's a working day in Costa Rica. So legally, they have to be paid. And then there's 8 feriados. There's 8 holidays in Costa Rica, which do not coincide with the United States, besides Christmas and New Year's. And so these are days that the agents legally do not have to come to work, and there's no repercussion. So if a client says, if he doesn't come in on Tuesday, fire him, I can't do that by law. And so that's the sort of thing that we have to plan out so there's no surprises. And secondly, I don't like circumvention. We need to have some sort of protocol. I can't have, it's great that you communicate with the agent, but there could be a miscommunication there. You can't let the kid leave early or not give them enough leads and let us know. And so I got to make sure that we have a chain of command so things run properly. And if you are interested in speaking with the agents, by all means, but I can't have you using excessive profanity, which may work in the Manhattan office or Wolf of Wall Street, but you're talking about an exceptionally conservative Catholic culture. And these individuals go home to their parents. So maybe what may work in your office to motivate your buddies does not work here. And so I just have to make sure that your motivation is appropriate. I mean, I don't want somebody to hold themselves back from greatness. But then again, don't write us in bold cap. I had supervisors write in red before. You don't do things like that. And so that's the sort of thing that can ruin the morale and the synergy of my center. See, here's the thing. These people are 3,000 miles away. They hire a dozen agents with me. Sure, they speak with them, they've trained them and everything. But I'm the one that walks the rows with them, right? I break bread with them. How about this, my friend? Maybe there's something that's happening outside the office that causes someone to break down. I've seen grown men cry. Client's not there. I'm there. I'm the one that gets them off the phone for 5 minutes to put some water on their face. Or do you know I collect pinball machines and retro arcade machines? I have a huge
I
game
read.
room.
Yes, I
I
did.
know you did. So I try, especially on the first day, we play games prior to the class. But if someone's having a tough day, or if someone's having the best day, the greatest thing to do is go downstairs and celebrate with me or talk with me on the pinball machines. And so this has been an exceptionally effective medium for me to get people to calm down, because you're dealing with 160 controlled hours a month, and people might see it as monotonous. There's burnout in my industry. People see it as transitional. In fact, in your country is the powerhouse in the world. I compete. not compete that way. I believe that we're all colleagues. And if there is somebody on the phone that has the skill set, the soft skills, and earns that account, you earned it. You can't spin this. And so I respect the trade. And
Right.
so dealing with these clients all over the world, I just got to make sure that we bring our best things to the table. We talk about the challenges we have because I love preventions instead of cures. And yes, there is attrition. So what is our plan B? I compete against Amazon.
Right.
But the one thing the clients will love about me is that, as I mentioned, no surprises. Here's the best thing about running a business. It's about accountability. Even if I wasn't there, I'm still going to make the phone call. I'm going to let them know what happened, what our solution is. And I've realized that you judge somebody's character during chaos. And I've had the best relationships when we've had to dust ourselves off after a bump compared to things that are just smooth sailing. Because if you can have that sort of relationship with somebody, because life does happen,
Mhm.
where you're in touch immediately, you have a game plan, you're not screaming, yelling, or in my case, pulling my hair out. Um, People love you for it. And so when you have to make a call or have a conversation, it's a really nice level to be at with somebody. The word mature comes to mind because you do need impulse control.
Mhm.
And you need to sometimes be forthright with somebody. If there's water coming in the boat, you got to let them know. And so, was that the toughest part of my job? It's not the most fun, but I've also realized that this is the responsibility that I signed up for. And spiritually, even if something goes terribly wrong and I even lose an account,
Mhm.
if I did the right steps and did the best that I could and ethically and morally,